Hi, I think we're live now. There's a chat on there. If you can hear me or if you're out there, write something in chat and let me know that you're here. And I want to start by saying I'm Margaret Stephens-Reed. I'm the Director of Fund Development, and welcome. Sorry we're a little late. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're working through it. It's hard to believe that in 2011, we held the first. Hold on a second. I think we're getting feedback from my phone. Anyway, in 2011, we held the first Bernice Kussell cocktail party right where I'm standing. And that night we took in 5 members. And now it's 9 years later and 40 members. And we should have been at the home of Heather and Eddie Roush. But hey, you guys know what happened. They say it's the new normal. I actually kind of think it's a reboot of the way that we do life. We're physically distancing, we're facially distancing, which makes me think of the former football coach, Tony Dungy, I think is his name, when he used to send calls out to the field. He always put his hands up like this, and you'd see his eyes going like this. And that's what it makes me think of now. Everybody's walking around, and you have to see if they're smiling with their eyes. But anyway, so the connected world is now physically apart, but we're more virtually connected. Oh, I see some of you people are coming in. Hey, everybody. We're more virtually connected more than ever. I don't know how many Zoom meetings you had today, but I had a couple. So for me, my new normal is continually getting used to new normals. So tonight's party is geared towards a cocktail party, and we're doing it virtually. Helping me here, so you don't think I'm just talking to myself, I've got one of our wonderful volunteers and our nutritional coach, Betsy Durkin, is here with me. We've got our director. My boss is out there, and I'm giving everybody just titles that I just want to give them tonight. So our director of communications, we've got Greg Ochoa. He's here. And then we've got the czar of IT, Stephen DiGiacomo. He's here with me too, because it really takes a village to put on something like this. Oh my gosh, the decks are there. Hi from Santa Barbara. Nice that you're tuning in. So first thing you need for a party is your food. So we've pulled together, and I've always messed up this word, charcuterie board. And I hope you can see what I've got on it. I've got some wonderful things on it. In the bowls, I've got a spicy cherry preserve, got some pesto, and I've got 2 different kinds of olives. One stuffed with garlic, and the other one's stuffed with blue cheese. They're amazing. I've got crackers on the board, as well as 2 cheeses. I've got a brie and an Irish cheddar, which is really, really sharp. I've got a couple of meats. I've got some salami. I've got some turkey, and I've got some turkey pepperoni. And then some marinated artichoke hearts, some tomatoes. I've got some walnuts and almonds, some raspberries, some pickles, and some cranberries. So we've got our food together, so our tummy is good. And all you need to go with this would be a glass of wine. And I picked up this glass of wine, this wine glass from the dollar store. It says right here, you fill it if you're having a good day, here if it's a bad day, or up to here if it's one of those don't ask days. So I'll leave that to you. And every party needs a good cocktail napkin, and tonight is no exception. So my first cocktail napkin of the evening is, it's okay, it's organic. And speaking of organic, we were supposed to go to Steve McCamey, who's the chair of our board. I don't know, were we able to hook up with him? Well, Steve was going to bring you greetings from the board, and he was going to talk about the agency a little bit. I'm going to turn that over to my boss when we get to him. And he was going to mention the Kussell Society, so I'll go ahead and do that. We were started in 1947, about 73 years ago, by a woman named Bernice Kussell. Her daughter went to college, so she decided to get a job, and she went to work at the state mental hospital. And in those days, if you delivered a baby with a developmental disability, they went from the delivery room to the state hospital, and that's where they lived. Well, she realized that these babies were just like other babies, and all they needed to do was to be loved. So she applied to be a foster parent, and started taking the babies home. And more, her reputation grew, and people would just deliver babies to her door. And she would turn them around and say, no, you take that baby home and raise it with your other children. And if it's too hard, then come back. Well, as the children grew, so did her program. So it went from like preschool or infant care to preschool to school to vocational program. And that's where we are today. So in her honor, we decided to start a giving society. And so it's the Bernice Kussell Society. And it's really easy to join. All you need to do is donate $1,000 or more, or pledge $1,000 during a calendar year. And you're in. Pretty easy. Monies are used to cover basic and day-to-day needs of our members. Just recently, the Kussell Society covered $6,000 in dental fee for one member who was in extreme pain and required extensive work. He thanks you, and we thank you. So if you're interested, just give me a call. Okay, the next step of a cocktail party are the cocktails. And so tonight we're going to do several cocktails. Turn that to my assistant there. So Kussell members, you received what I'm calling cocktail party in a tube. And in your tube, receive some nuts. So that's the food part. A couple of brownies for the dessert part. And cocktails. And so we're going to put those together. And if you didn't get a tube, we'll put some cocktails together for you too. So let's make some space here. And our first cocktail is the Maui Mai Tai. And I'm trying to figure out what. So for the Kussell members, you're going to need a shot of rum. I know, we have our own shot glasses. Isn't that funny? That's pretty cool. Shot of rum. 4 ounces of club soda. And we'll just use 4 of these. We might not make it because my glass is a little small. Oh, I think I turned my stove on. And a packet. And we're going to mix that up. Ooh, it's fizzing. And we're going to add some ice. And there's your cocktail. And our first napkin with our cocktail drink is drink responsibly, don't spill it, because I just spilled a little bit on my hand there. Okay, so for the rest of us, we are going to mix. Now this recipe called for 3 kinds of rum. I only had 2, so we're making do with the 2 that I have. So it's it would have been 1.5 ounces of light rum and 1.5 ounces of gold rum. We're going to use 3 ounces of light rum into my shaker. 2 ounces of triple sec. When I retire, I think I'm going to go and take a mixology class, even though I'd probably only be bartending at senior citizen centers, but hey, what the hell. Okay, 1 ounce of orange juice. And then my favorite, I'm dripping the orange juice, amaretto. Those of you that have ever drank with me know that amaretto sours are my favorite drink. So any drink that has amaretto, it's got to be really good. Okay, in there. And we're going to shake it. Okay, so I was telling my sister I was going to be bartending tonight, and so she said, be sure to smile. Because bartenders say you're always supposed to smile because you get bigger tips. So I'm smiling, guys, so make those donations. All right, and we're going to pour this over some ice. Yay! And then we top it with some dark rum. Just float this on the top, they say. We'll see how good I'm at floating. Ooh, it smells wonderful. It smells really good. Aloha. So speaking of aloha, please join me in saying aloha to the president and CEO, Cletus Tebow. How are you tonight, Cletus?
I am terrific. And this is an interesting way of doing it. I mean, so many meetings have gone virtual. I'm not sure if Steve McCamey got on or not.
No, not yet. So it's on you.
Okay, so I mean, did you want me to talk about some of the things he's going to mention, or just go into my part?
Have at it.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just recognize Steve and what he's done. Steve's mom, Dolly, was with us for many, many years, and he became familiar with Valley Life, and like many of us, just fell in love with it. And then I asked Steve to serve on a committee that we had put together, and it was basically a committee to assist the board in different professional endeavors. And Steve has a real estate company, and so he did a lot of our real estate advising, and it was basically a professional advisory board. And then in 2010, we asked Steve to join our board, the regular board, and he did. And then and since January 2018, Steve has been chairman. And so what he was going to talk about is about the importance of this event. And typically this event is a membership drive. And so anybody who's attending who's not a member, please feel free to give Margaret a call and send her an email. I think you have all those things because we do want to continue increasing our membership. And as Margaret said, it started out with what, 5 people? And now I think we're close to 50. And so anyways, as a membership, it's also a fundraiser as well. And Steve also is going to mention our main fundraiser is going to be another virtual event. And it's the first Saturday in October. I think it's October 3rd. It's our gala. And so I think we'll probably talk about that in a little bit, but that's going to be a really, really neat one because it's going to be a real-time event, as well as we'll be able to go onto YouTube, and we'll be able to, at any time for I think about a week, see all the different episodes and all the different activities that are going on during the gala. So that's going to be really, really fun too. So please join us for that. And then to talk a little bit about Valley Life, and Valley Life serves people with disabilities, and we've been doing it since 1947, and started out with a lady named Bernice Kussell, and Margaret talked a little bit about that. And we time here in 2020, and some of the unfunded needs that we go through, that we have, and some of our fundraising. Because a lot of our members do get funding from the government, but a lot of it is not funded. And some of those things are extensive dental services, clothing, personal hygiene items, and recreational activities. So those are some of the things that the Kussell Society contributes to Valley Life and our Valley Life members. And we're committed to our community in whole and enriching the lives of everybody that we serve, especially during this pandemic, which we hope is on the downhill side. So did I forget anything, Margaret? No?
Nope, you're doing
Okay.
great. Keep up the good work.
I've got a little bit more to go. Hopefully nobody will go to sleep, but thank you for joining us tonight. As Margaret mentioned, I'm Cletus Tebow, and I'm President and Chief Executive of Valley Life. And I was asked a little bit about my history. I was asked to serve the board in September of 1996. So I'm in my 24th year of being affiliated on a professional level with Valley Life. And then in June of 2003, I was asked to serve as President and Chief Executive Officer. And I am here to tell you that I am one of the most fortunate people in the world to be part of this terrific organization. And I would encourage everybody who isn't on board already to call Margaret, and she'll convince you. But anyways, I can't tell you how many virtual meetings and webinars I have been in the last 7 to 8 months. But I think I can tell you one thing and be firmly committed to it. This one is going to be the most fun of any webinar or virtual meeting that I have been in, and probably that you've been in as well. So thanks for setting it up, Margaret. Terrific idea. Margaret's always full of great ideas, mostly great ideas. But anyways, wow, what a year, 2020. I'm shocked. In my 62 and a half years of life, I have never been through something like this. I've been through several downturns in the economy and things like that, but I don't know anybody who would have predicted what this year would have looked like in January. In January, things at Valley of Life and typically throughout the economy and throughout most of the world, things are going very well. All of Valley Life's programs are performing exceptionally well. I was in my office in middle of January looking back going, wow, this is going to be a great year. We just got to keep it going and keep, be dedicated and committed to our mission and all those things. And it's just going to be a terrific year. Staffing issues were typical. We always need a few more staff. And the market was at an all-time high and life was good. And then February and March came and the world completely changed along with Valley Life. And Valley Life continued to provide essential services because the people we serve need our services. And so we continued to operate. But because of COVID-19, we continue to operate on a very, very safe and cautious approach. And that's in basically everything we do. Day services were suspended on March 23rd, and they have not opened yet, but we're hoping that they're going to open in the next 2 weeks. We've got a target date of September 21st if all goes well. Valley Life was one of the first to suspend day services, and then shortly after that, most other large agencies followed our lead. Our residential members were quarantined in their homes with only emergency outside travel permitted. Visitation to group homes was severely limited to only medical and technical personnel, and personal protective equipment was distributed to all group home staff and members. And this included cloth face masks and then eventually disposable masks, gloves, and gowns. And although supplies of PPE or personal protective equipment and hand sanitizer and disinfectant spray got really scarce, Valley Life never really actually ran out of it. This is due to our inventory control program, which we have an inventory in our on campus. And also it's due to a few residential program managers who I found out recently are hoarders. And now I'm very happy about that. Additionally, we had many residential supervisors that went shopping 24/7 for the things that we need. And when one supervisor would find something, whether it's in the middle of the night or early in the morning, they would call other supervisors and we would swarm that grocery store, wherever, and get the things we needed. And so we got close to running out on a few things, and sanitizer was one of our biggest, but we never actually did run out. Valley Life also did not lay off or furlough or terminate any employees due to COVID-19. Day staff were transferred to residential homes because as our residential members stayed home, we needed staff to take care of them, to support them. And many of our day services managers performed other duties, administrative duties, along with additional shopping duties that I just mentioned. And Valley Life has navigated very well through these challenging times over the last several months. Our members currently, and this is the first time in a little over 4 months, has no COVID positive members. Our first COVID positive member was diagnosed and tested in April. And since then, we had 11 members out of our 101 members test positive for COVID-19. In order to serve the positive members, we created what we called COVID homes. And those homes had limited staff, additional PP&E, and they were given hazardous duty pay. And I've got to tell you right now, those are very dedicated staff to go into a situation like that and to take care of our members. But I knew that they would do that because they have huge hearts and they're here for the right reason. So I've got to give a shout out to the homes and the staff that were COVID positive for the times that they were. And we also created a COVID quarantine home and a COVID administrative site. And that was a site those are homes that nobody could go into because that staff was delivering goods to other homes that may have had COVID in them. And so we didn't want to spread it. So we basically quarantined certain staff into those places. To date, 155 staff out of a total of 335, or 46% of our staff, have been out on COVID-related issues at one time or another. And as you can imagine, That created a huge staffing issue at times. But we worked through these problems by enhancing hourly rates, increasing the amount and frequency of our perfect attendance awards, increased our hiring efforts, increased awarding above and beyond performance bonuses, and then we also filled shifts with overtime and supervisors. Currently, we have 14 staff still out on COVID-related issues. 3 have tested positive and 11 are awaiting their tests. So we've had a real challenge going through this thing, but we're on the downhill side of it. And I'm just real pleased at the dedication that our staff has shown in these very difficult and just unprecedented times. And like many other businesses and nonprofits, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in loss of revenue and unexpected expenses. And Valley Life is no different. The loss of revenue for us resulted from the suspension of our day services and our vocational services programs. And the increased expenses typically came from increased wages and overtime, additional staffing incentives, such as the awards and bonuses I mentioned a few minutes ago, and also a huge increase in personal protective equipment. But fortunately, Valley Life received increases in government support. We also received a few additional grants, thanks to Ann Polonsky and the great work that she does. And I think we all know Ann and has done great work for us over a number of years. And this year has been no different. Valley Life did receive a payroll protection loan. We also received a Health and Human Services Provider Relief Fund grant. We received a City of Phoenix CDBG grant of $50,000. And then we also have received several smaller grants that have really almost offset our expenses, not quite, and that we've still had a lot more in expenses than we did have an increase in revenue. Our reserves have been tapped, but we still have strong reserves, and our resources have been stretched. But our commitment to our members and our staff remains strong. As I mentioned earlier, we currently have no positive members, and we have not laid off any staff or terminated or furloughed any staff due to COVID-19. So I want to thank you for your support, and let's enjoy the rest of the evening in our virtual cocktail party. Margaret?
Thank you, Cletus. Cletus likes to say he has the best job in the world, but I know I do. Right, Cletus?
You do. And she does. She tells me what to do. As a matter of fact, she told me to get a haircut, and I don't know if you guys have noticed the haircut, but I did get one this morning for this event.
Yes, else you wouldn't be seeing him either. Cletus, a little birdie told me that it's time to sign up for Birdies for Charity.
That's true.
Yeah, usually we're at this event, we're passing around a sign-up sheet, but this year's different. So look for an email or visit our Facebook page and make a pledge to Birdies. You can pledge as little as a penny a birdie. There's usually around 1,500 birdies during the Waste Management Phoenix Open, which means your pledge is about $15. And I hope you'll join us. Thanks, Cletus. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Margaret, and thank everybody who's tuned in.
For our next cocktail, I'm going to start with the napkin. And the napkin says, I found the vodka. It was hiding in the orange juice. So there's a reason I picked that napkin, because it's not just any vodka that's hiding. It's the Tito's vodka. Our second cocktail tonight is the cranberry twist. So for those of you that don't have the little package, we're going to start with the highball. We're not going to do a shaker. I kind of like the shaker. We're going to start with the highball glass with some ice, and we're going to use an ounce of Tito's vodka. Yay, Tito's vodka. 4.5 ounces of cranberry juice. So you can count it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And then they said a dash of Rose's lime. I don't know how you do a dash, but I'm going to just pour a little bit on this spoon and dash it. And then the same for the orange juice. A dash of orange juice. And we're going to mix it up. Oh, and I forgot to smile. You know, want those donations coming in. And now for your Kussell members, it's, you probably have this down by now, an ounce of Tito's. Yay, Tito's. Club soda. This is what's going to make it fizz. And then your package of cranberry twist. Ooh, look at that color. I'll mix it up. Somebody asked me if the mix would be good with just seltzer water. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but if you try it, let me know. And then we're going to put some ice in here. And salute. That's the closest thing to a Russian toast I could think of. But I did pick the drink with Tito's for a reason. Tito's Handmade Vodka is a sponsor of this year's gala, virtual gala. Our other sponsors include ProStar Realty, the Connie Cola Group, and Forefront Development. And unfortunately, we couldn't get her on film, but I've got her on phone. I'm here to tell you more about the gala. Is the newest member of the Valley Life Board of Directors and former gala chair, Amy Winsky. Amy, are you there? Amy? I thought I had her. Amy? I don't hear her.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, speak up so because you're right at my microphone.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Amy Winsky, and as the newest member of the Valley Life Board of Directors and a former co-chair of the Legacy of Love Gala, I have the honor and pleasure of telling you about this year's Legacy of Love. Well, in February, actually the second week of February to be exact, we held our first gala committee meeting. We were filled with so much excitement about how we were going to make this year's gala even bigger and better than last year's. In March, our conversations involved a lot of coronavirus talk, and we were a little concerned, but not enough to stop our plans. I have to admit that by April, our enthusiasm had waned just a bit, but we were still planning on an in-person event. Surely this virus would run its course by October, we all thought. But on May 14th, we pulled the plug. We knew that we wanted to do something that would keep us in contact with all of our donors, but what? We had many, many conversations. We even took polls. We settled on a virtual event, and we're really excited about it. There's no tickets to purchase, no new dress to buy, no need for hair or nail appointments. You don't even have to put pants on. We don't judge. All you need to do is pre-register, and you'll receive a link to the event. Tune in on your phone, your tablet, your computer. If you have a smart TV, a Kindle Fire, or a Roku, you can bring up YouTube, and you can watch everything on the big screen. We really do have a memorable program plan, so I encourage you to go to valleylifeaz.org/register and invite your friends and family. We hope to have people tuning in from all over the world, and you can help make that happen. So just as a reminder, Valley Life, one word, az.org/register. Like our new slogan says, same cause, different format. Thanks, Margaret. What cocktail are you making next?
Thank you, Amy. Our next cocktail is the Baja Margarita. But before I start mixing that, I want to tell, we should tell them a little bit more about the gala. We know that Connie Cola is going to be our coordinator of ceremonies, and we always have a great time with Connie. Can you tell us who else is joining us?
Yeah, I will. Actually, this year we're going to have Maddie Steves as a special guest with us. Maddie, I've known for a very long time. She first got involved with Best Buddies and working with friends with disabilities when she was about 12 or 13 years old. And she wrote a book. She's a co-author of a book called Boy on a Swing. It is a true story of her experiences about friendship and acceptance. It's a really wonderful, heartwarming book. I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Maddie was also our Miss Arizona in 2015 and represented our state at Miss America.
This is going to be a great evening. Thank you so much, Amy. Sorry we couldn't see your wonderful face, but thank you for hanging in there with us.
No worries.
Okay, and I'm going to put the phone down and get back to mixing cocktails. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, we also have some special sponsorship levels at our gala this year, which include gala-inspired meals delivered directly to your home. And you don't even have to be in the Phoenix area to participate, but you do have to be sort of close to a relatively large metropolitan city. Check out our websites or give me a call for more information and I can run your zip code to see if you're close enough to get it delivered. Our final cocktail of the evening is the Baja Margarita. So, Kussell members, I have to thank Heather out there. I think you'll recognize the glasses. Thank you for the donation. We put some salt around the rim here. You'll need a shot or 2 shots. No, actually, just 1 shot for you guys of tequila. I'm going to make it really strong. Put you away for the evening. It's only Thursday night, huh? Back to the club soda. 1, 2, 3, 4. And your little packet, which are 0 calories. That's kind of cool. You can travel with these on an airplane and just order your little shot of tequila and mix your own little margarita there. Not bad. And there you go. And then for the rest of us here, we're going to use the shaker again, my favorite appliance. And we're going to do 2 shots of tequila. I'm going to smell like a distillery by the time I get home. My husband's going to wonder where I've been, except I hope he's tuning in, so he knows what I'm doing. We're going to do, oh, I don't have to open it like this. Agave, 1. Ooh, this is really thick. It's going to be so sweet. Oh my God. An ounce of Rose's lime. Yay. And then we're supposed to shake it for 30 seconds. We need some shaking music. Oh, a lot of shaking going on. You don't want me singing. Sorry about that, guys. Still hang in there. Don't disconnect because I started singing. And we're going to pour it into our wonderful big glass there, courtesy of the Roushes. And this recipe called for a splash of water. I don't know why, but we'll put it in there. And it's nothing without some limes here. There we go. And so we'll do a Mexican toast. Arriba, glasses up. Abajo, glasses down. El centro, to the center. And pa dentro, back to your heart. And then drink up. And you guys, I am going to taste this. It's pretty good. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope by the holidays we'll be doing this together. Stay safe. Wear your mask. And in the words of my final napkin tonight, life isn't a fairy tale. If you lose your shoe at midnight, you're drunk. Thank you. See you later. Good night.